Hey, what is up guys? It's Enum here. I wanted to make a quick guide on what to do once you hit 120. It's not going to be super in-depth. It's going to be quick, straight to the point, what you need to do once you hit 120 to start getting gear and artifact power and start getting ready for these raids and rated PvP. Alright, so one of the first things you're going to want to do is to unlock world quests. The way you unlock world quests is first you got to hit level 120. You have to unlock 3 footholds as a part of the Alliance or Horde War campaign. So that's the quest you get from the main city, these orange quests here. Knocking those out and then getting the 3 zones, getting a foothold. They don't take very long to do. You can complete all 3 probably within about an hour or 2. And then the last thing you need to do is hit friendly with 3 major Kultiris if Alliance, Zandalar if Horde, reputations. Once you hit friendly with 3 of those, you will unlock world quests and you will be given a quest to unlock your world quest, in which you will be giving a flight whistle. The reason we want to unlock world quests ASAP is to start unlocking to get your resources, reputation, artifact power, and gear. The gear scales as your item level increases. I'm trying to find a piece of gear. So right now I'm sitting at 335. So most of the gear I'm seeing is about 325, which is what I'm guessing it's going to cap out at. Now this gear can Titan Forge. I did have one Titan Forge to 350. So that is something to keep in mind. This will be a really great way to get that reputation up, get that artifact power, and get that gear ASAP. This is going to be the best way to start getting your gear and getting you into heroics. Another thing that we are really going to want to do is to get these expeditions done. You can earn 2,500 artifact power every week from completing expeditions. So you need to farm 40,000 Azurite, which may sound like a lot at first, but you're farming it in these maps, and the higher the difficulty, the more artifact power you gain. For heroic, I know it's 9,000. For normal, I want to say it's about 6,000. And that's how you can gain artifact power very quickly. You get 225 artifact power for heroic, 150 for normal, and then mythic granting you 300, and the PvP is 300 as well. Now for the mythic and PvP, you do require to have a party before you queue. Heroic and normal, you can just queue into it. This is going to be the best way to get artifact power for your Heart of Azeroth. And getting the Heart of Azeroth level up as quickly as possible is going to be super important, so that it increases the item level of your neck piece, and as well as you can get the talents in your Azerite gear in the head, shoulder, and chest slots. And I did want to mention that you find these expeditions in your main city at the expedition table. I'm not too sure where the Horde is. I will look that up and post it, with text over the screen, or a screenshot, something like that. And over here is where the Alliance is in Borealis Harbor, kind of along the docks here. And you will speak with Flynn Fairwind to turn in the quest once you max out the Azerite power. And of course, one of the most obvious ways to get gear is to run heroic dungeons. Heroic dungeons are going to offer you gear up to 325 item level, which will get you ready for mythics. Pretty much the best way to get geared is to start getting geared towards mythics. I mean, that seems pretty obvious. You do the world quest, get the gear from there, your item level increases, the item level on the world quest gear increases. So really start spamming those heroics, get that gear to start getting into mythics, because mythics is how we're going to get raid ready as well as ready for PvP. I'm not too sure if I'm going to trust the PvP system to gear. Legion, we learned our lesson that gearing in PvP was absolutely garbage. If you weren't running mythic keystones every week to get your gear, for PvP, you were going to be falling behind. Now you could get some good gear from PvP. I definitely had some, I don't even remember the item level in Legion, 960, I believe, 960 pieces from PvP Titan forging, but it's just going to be a lot easier and a lot quicker to get your gear from Mythic Dungeons. Now, Mythic Dungeons are going to offer you 845, sorry, not 845. It's going to give you 345, of course, with the chance of upgrading as well. One thing I will highly recommend doing is going through the Adventurer's Guide, going through the dungeons, kind of seeing what gear you need to replace. Also, make sure you read the boss fights. I had a few mythics that were pretty rough. Kind of seeing like what you can upgrade. I'm sorry, did I say 345? I meant to say 340 for the mythic gear. I had a few pieces upgrade, as you can tell. But this will be the best way to get your gear, going through the mythics. Like, I was hoping to get a helm from this guy, but I didn't. Going through and seeing what you can upgrade, especially if you're melee. Find out which bosses drop weapons and do those dungeons, because getting your weapons is super important as a melee. As you know, we don't have our artifact weapons anymore, so we need to get those weapons ASAP to make sure we're doing max DPS. And I would recommend that you start doing mythics probably, I want to say 320, because that's when I started and I was able to complete them with ease. I didn't really have any issues at 320 with all blue gear, no purples yet. I had zero issues, you know, tanking them. You could possibly do them even lower, maybe at 315, but if you're feeling a little uncomfortable, if you're a little worried about mythics, maybe wait till you get to 320, maybe even 325 after you got some gear through world quests and heroics, because in heroics, you know, the gear can Titan Forge. You can still get epics, but most of the gear you're going to get is going to be through mythics. And once you get your gear through mythics, you're pretty much set until the raids come out, until the keystones come out. Real quick before I forget though, do not purchase gear unless you are extremely rich. The only gear I would suggest you may purchase is some of the reputation gear, but most of the gear on the auction house is completely overpriced. You will quickly, and I mean quickly, replace it. I am so, like, even the pants that I bought from reputation, I bought them and replaced them within an hour. That's 1,000 gold down the drain. I almost spent 400,000 on a weapon that I would have replaced in 2 days. I would have been extremely angry if I spent 400,000 gold on that weapon, but instead I spent that gold, well, half of the gold rather, on this transmog, which I prefer this transmog way more than the weapon that I would have replaced anyways. So yeah, don't buy gear. You replace it. Okay. All right, cool. Bye.